So it turns out that when you send a French-Canadian house spirit to go collect money from somebody who owes you for a cameo, the lutein not only absconds with the money, but she takes all your tech with her. Needless to say, this month's episode was delayed due to Karen being Karen. But since I didn't want to leave you without anything, I figured this would be the perfect time to launch a sort of pilot for a new segment I'm considering called La Femme lit. Well, it's spelled L-I-T. It's French for reads. Imbeciles. Anyway, books are just as much responsible for this show as anything else, because really what I love doing is talking about stories. And yeah, books don't get as much attention because, well, this is a visual medium and books are harder to talk about other than just this. And I know I'm pretty, but I'm not that pretty. So normally what I've been reading a lot of lately is fan fiction because, well, I'm broke, it's free and readily available on any given screen, and it's also genuinely interesting and wildly creative at times. No, I'm serious. People knock fan fiction all the time, myself included, but I knock bad fiction. Badly written fan fiction. And I will talk about that and what I consider my sins of bad fiction some other day, but for now I want to talk about good fan fiction and the even rarer creator-sponsored fan fiction. This is generally, of course, Disney's domain. Disney will basically sanction a bunch of authors to write what is essentially fan fiction as tie-in products for whatever movie they're releasing. And so the one I want to talk about today is a tie-in to the 2017 remake of Beauty and the Beast called Lost in a Book by Jennifer Donnelly. And the reason I like this is it is a great version of a midquel fic that, I mean, I would have loved to see it on the big screen, but I understand why they didn't include it, because it probably would have scared children. So, just a quick heads up, I'm going to spoil this book in places, but it's also kind of inevitable that it's gonna end happily, isn't it? I mean, I just said it's a midquel, therefore it cannot do anything that would have negatively impacted the outcome of the 2017 movie. Kind of, you know, the same way that that scene of the servants all turning into inanimate objects is pointless, but the score and the acting still make you feel the feels. It's kind of like that in this book. The writing is very good and the stakes are high enough that I am genuinely invested in it. Jennifer Donnelly is a very, very good writer. So some quick non-spoilery things that I will talk about. This, I think, does a better job of illustrating some of the points of Belle and Beast's relationship that might have gone over the heads of people who went into this movie just wanting to hate it because it was new and unnecessary. They have more bonding time together and it's very cute. The Beast gets sick and Belle and Chip go out and they write "get well soon" in breadcrumbs for the birds to eat so that he sees it from his window. And they throw in all these references to Cogsworth and these battles that he fought in, including, I kid you not, the Battle of Yorktown with the Marquis de Lafayette, and I could just not stop picturing Ian McKellen in Hamilton, and I love it so much. And apparently Belle is now a fan of the French equivalent of grilled cheese sandwiches. Unfortunately, no, that is not a croque monsieur. They just call it toasted cheese sandwiches in the book, which, yeah, kind of lame, but Belle eats comfort food! Yay! And there is also a really cute scene where the Beast takes Belle out ice skating and there's a little table set up with hot chocolate for them, and it's like, oh! Oh, and they have a birthday party for Chip! And the Beast gives him toy ships, and it's so cute! Like, it's kind of out of character for his developmental point, because this is, like, right after he gives her the library, but I love it! It's so cute! I love it! And now, let's talk about the titular part of the plot. Lost in a Book. It has nothing to do with the enchanted atlas that shows up in the movie. No, this is a different magic book. A book that is sent to the castle by Death herself. Woo! I should save some of that for Halloween. Anyway. The book has sort of a framing device that is a chess match between love and death, both personified as female goddesses, basically. And there's a very interesting visual design. Death is apparently very pale-skinned with jet black hair, and love is basically black-skinned, and I don't mean like African descended, I mean like this level of black skin and white hair, and the two of them basically make a bet around Belle and the Beast and whether or not the relationship will end in love or death. And the main plot of the book is Death trying to cheat. And the way that Death does this is through a magical book called Nevermore. I'm disappointed that it isn't more of an Edgar Allan Poe reference, but Edgar Allan Poe is, I think, not born at this point, and also, like, that would just get too political, because then we start talking about the French Revolution again, and oh my god. Do you ever think that maybe just the reason that it's okay for Belle and the Beast to have happily ever after is that they turned out to be so nice that maybe they stopped the French Revolution from happening? Like, the prince just married a peasant. I think he's going to be a little better at listening to the peasants than Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI were. Who am I kidding? Marie Antoinette barely had any decision-making power. I'm getting sidetracked. So basically what Nevermore does is that it transports Belle into this fantasy world where people appreciate her and she has these beautiful dresses to wear and she can go anywhere she wants. She can travel wherever she wants, and it's beautiful and perfect and a little off. Like, there are these really creepy warnings from bugs and a supposed old madwoman, and Jennifer Donnelly does a great job making it seem super unsettling, and I love it. And so this is also a bit of a riff on the tale of Persephone, because the whole reason that Death is doing this is to get Belle to leave 3 things in the underworld and to eat 3 things in the underworld, which, through some events that I will not spoil because they are some of the best parts of the book, but she does eat 3 things and leave 3 things, and so she starts, like, becoming one with the book, and it's so creepy and well done, and I loved it. I just loved it. And yes, of course she has to escape because then the movie couldn't go on as planned, but it's genuinely intense and kind of scary and exhilarating, and I love it, and I've read this book like 50 times now because it's that good. And so, yes, I mean, this is a Disney sequel I would not mind seeing. Like, I would want to see a movie version of this in all the ways I never, ever want to see The Enchanted Christmas ever again. But yeah, it's well written. Jennifer Donnelly has a grasp on the pre-established characters. It's entertaining to read. It's got a good story. Honestly, if you changed enough of the character names, you could probably get away with this being a work of original fiction that would be engaging on its own. And I liked it. So I'd like to know, has anyone read this book? Do they like it? And if you haven't, give it a read. Maybe let me know what you think in the comments. Also, in the comments, let me know what books you might like me to read, and I will consider them for future episodes of this nature. And in the meantime, if you could also hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, maybe come over to my Patreon so that you can support me for the future main episodes when I get my computer back from Karen, who is so fired. And also, I would love it if you could subscribe. I I would really like to get monetized. I would like to keep doing this, guys. Please, please, I love doing this. Don't make me go away. I don't want to go. Alright. Well, I will see you soon. A bientôt!